The number one predictor of success is the most obvious and simplest skill. And yet it is so often overlooked. It is so often undervalued. And it is simply this. It is the ability to keep going. It is the ability to not quit. It is the ability to keep showing up, keep moving forward, to keep giving it your all with passion, with enthusiasm, with drive, and with focus. If you can do this on a long enough timeline, you will succeed. The reason why success is so rare, why achieving things of merit, of value, of things that are important is so fundamentally rare, is because most people quit. Because most people give up. When the going gets tough, they get going. They just call it quits. It wasn't meant to be. It wasn't meant to happen. You know, when they talk about podcasts, something like these, I'm not going to get the numbers right. Like, I'm just going to fucking own this. But it is something along the lines of, there are something like 2 million podcasts out there. And like 95% of them are 2 or under episodes. And of the ones that are left, it's like most are 10 and under. And if you crack the 100 mark, you're in like the top 0.0001%. And it's the same with business. It's the same with fitness. It's the same with all of that kind of stuff. The people who actually continue to show up and do the work and achieve it are in the 1% of people. You know, being in business for longer than 1 year, I think it puts you in the top 5%. Make it to 10 years and you're in the top 1%. Think about that. Think about how mind-boggling that is. That just by continuing to show up and continuing to do the work without a loss of passion, without a loss of focus, puts you in such high regard. It's like the 100-hour rule. That if across 1 year you can accumulate 100 hours, which it's not my maths, so hopefully I'm not wrong, which is 18 minutes a day. If you can accumulate that across 12 months, you'll be in the top 5% of that dedicated skill. It's how rare it is to show up consistently. It's how rare it is to continually do the work. Same concept as you are more likely to be a millionaire than you are to have a six-pack. Because with the free range of junk food and crap and alcohol and drugs out there, the ability to actually be consistent, to show up and do the work day in, day out for your health and for your fitness, for your body, is so rare that it's easier to make $1 million than it is to have a six-pack. That's why being consistent matters. It's why developing this skill is a fucking superpower. It's why grit and fortitude and discipline separates you. Not just a little bit, but fucking astronomically separates you from the pack. It makes you a rarity. But I think on the flip side, we also have the problem with the internet these days. That because we only ever see the highlight reel, because we only ever see people's top tiers, because we only ever see the best of everything, we have this deluded illusion of how easily people get there. How they just showed up one day, or how comfortable their life is, or all of that kind of stuff. Whereas it's not. It takes work, it takes effort, it takes consistency, it takes doing the right things over and over and over and over again for a long period of time. And often, as I've said before, much longer than you think it should, for a much longer period of time than you think it should have any right to. So you have to just keep showing up. You have to keep doing the work. You have to keep being that guy. And don't let your passion wane, and don't let your enthusiasm fail. Just keep showing up. That's why we talk about that you need to do the work for the sake of the work. You need to do the work for the sake of doing it, for the man you will become from doing the work, not for the outcome. Because if you get too caught up in focusing on the outcome, if you get too caught up in constantly chasing that, and you're not seeing the progress, you'll quit. And there's a fine line between the two. And I think this is one of those hard lines to walk, because you need to be able to analyze your situation and analyze what you're doing to know that it is working, while simultaneously not focusing on the outcome and just showing up and doing the work. It's why picking the correct course of action at the beginning and then giving it maximum intensity matters. That's why when we talk about health and fitness, often actually the intensity of your workouts and the intensity that you attack your health and fitness is more of an important factor than the workouts itself. Because if I give you the perfect program and you execute it at 50%, yeah, your results are going to be subpar. But if I give you a shit program, which FYI is never going to fucking happen, but if I did, but you executed that at 200% effort, you are going to get better results than the person with the perfect program. Because a perfect program executed poorly still isn't poor program. But a shitty program executed perfectly will show up better than anything else. And I see it all the time with health and fitness. I see it with workouts. I see it with nutrition. I see it with eating plans. I see it with quick fix diets and, 90-day turnaround programs and all this kind of stuff. The reason why most people fail isn't even the programming or what they're doing. The reason why they fail is they quit. They stop doing the fucking work. That's why the whole reason that 126 to greatness or chasing greatness is built the way it is it's about building the discipline muscle. It's about building momentum. It's about building consistency. It's about showing up over and over and over and over again, day in, day out, and building that discipline muscle, building that consistency muscle to show up that way. That's what matters. That's what's more important, because developing that skill, the ability and skill to not fucking quit, to not give up, to keep showing up without a loss of enthusiasm or passion, is how you fucking win. You show up enough days in a row and you will win. Unquestionably, you will win. But you just have to keep showing up. You have to keep doing the work. You have to keep being that guy and winning the day. And that's how you get where you want to be. And that's how you show up and win the day. But you have to keep showing up as that guy. You have to keep doing it. I don't know how many other ways I can express this point, but doing it without the focus on the outcome or the loss of passion in the process. Because it's about the man that you become during that journey that matters more than reaching the goal. And I think that cannot be emphasized enough. So for myself, when I started this earlier this year, when I restarted this process for myself, my goal was to get back into shape. My goal was to, I'm being honest, to get back a six-pack, to be in good shape. I ticked that months ago. Fucking ticked that months and months ago. But who I became during that process was way more important than seeing myself in the mirror with that six-pack. My goal now is to be the best version of myself, to be the strongest, fittest, healthiest version I can be. And every year I get older, to get fucking better. Because I look around at my peers and I look around at friends and family and I go, fuck, aging has kicked in. We're not even that fucking old yet. We're barely in our 30s and aging has severely kicked in, and they're getting fatter and they're getting out of shape and their health's deteriorating and they're getting worse and their lives stagnating. And I was like, no, I want to hit fucking break records every single year. I want to improve every single year. I want to look back on this year and go, oh, that was nothing compared to what I did the next year and the next year and the next year. That's what I want to be. That's what I want from this. And I got there from becoming this man. Not because I wanted to have a six-pack, because I wanted to go, who can I be next year? How much better can I be next year? And that comes from just doing the work every single day. And you get obsessed with the work, obsessed with things that are going to create a positive outcome in your life. That's the difference maker. You know, within phase 2, I reached phase 2 of 126 and I allowed myself 10 days off to eat what I wanted. You know, I had to plan it ahead of time, but I could have 10 days where I didn't have to follow exactly my eating plan, my eating style. And I've reached a point that it's become so ingrained in me that I actually don't want to do that. I'm so fucking psyched for next year because I think I could get, 280 days in a row without taking a day off, without having a break. Just absolute fucking perfection. And that excites the shit out of me. And that's what I mean when I talk about it's about who you become, not the outcome. Because I know for a fact that that's going to put me in incredible shape. I know for a fact that stringing that many days in a row together is going to have a massive positive effect on my health, on my fitness, on my discipline, on my fortitude, on my grit, on how I show up in the world and how I show up during that year. But that's not what I'm focusing on. I'm not focusing on the physical component. I'm not focusing on how my body looks or anything like that. What I'm focusing on is stacking that many fucking wins in a row. And that's becoming that man who is more interested in stacking wins than sedating himself. And that was the point. That's who I wanted to become. And part of this is now, I want that to filter into every area of my life. So I'm starting to stack the wins in the other areas. I'm starting to do the work to stack the wins in all areas of my life. Because that's how you win. That you don't quit. You don't give up. You keep going. You keep moving forward and you stack those wins. You just focus on putting that next cross on the calendar, the Seinfeld method. How many days in a row can you put an X on the calendar that you won the fucking day? That you ticked that box that matters most, that you did the work. How many days in a row can you build that chain? How many days can you go unbroken? Because the momentum builds in the unbroken. The momentum builds in not missing a single day. The momentum builds in just showing up that way every single day, no matter what, no matter how your feelings are, no matter what's gone in life. You show up and do the work because the work does not give two shits about your feelings. It does not give two shits about what's going on in your life. It just demands that you do the fucking work. And that's how you win. And that's how you achieve greatness. And that's how you change the game and change your life and impact others' lives around you and lead by fucking example. Because you kept showing up and you didn't quit. You didn't bow towel. You didn't let anything defeat you. You got knocked down 7 times. You stood up 8. You just kept moving forward, unquestionably, relentlessly forward towards your goals. But by focusing on the work, just showing up and winning the day. Making the ordinary extraordinary by continuing to do it every single day. So don't quit. Don't let that bitch voice get to you. Don't let the resistance whisper in your ear that you can't do it, or that you should take a day off, or that you should rest, or that it's too much. Don't let those little voices in your head that are looking to sabotage you get to you. You just focus on winning the day. You don't need to focus on 100 days down the road, 126 days down the road, a year down the road, 2 years down the road. It doesn't fucking matter. You need to focus on today. Can you win today? Can you show up one more day, one more time, one more moment, one more rep, whatever it may be? Can you just show up in that moment and win that fucking moment? Stack that. Make it as small as it needs to be. Just stack the wins bit by bit by bit by bit by bit. Win those moments and stack them up. And then they become big moments. And then they become gigantic moments. And then they become mountains that are insurmountable by people who aren't you. And that's how you make that climb. It's not about looking at the summit. It's about looking at the next step and going, I will not concede this step. I will not take a back step. I will not fall down. I will just keep moving forward, and I will win this moment. I will win this day. I will win this battle. Then we can worry about the next one, and the next one, and the next one. You just keep showing up and win one battle at a time, and one battle at a time, and one battle at a time. Don't quit. Just keep winning, and you will succeed. Because if you just win the micro becomes the macro, becomes the big picture. And you can do that. All you got to do is focus on right this second, right this now. Just keep going, keep pushing forward and win this one little moment. And that one little moment can cascade into everything that you have ever wanted. You are in full control of the actions that you take right here, right now. So take the right actions. Now, if you're fucking ready to do that, if you're ready to build that discipline muscle, to build that I'm not going to quit muscle, to become the man that you know you should be, shoot me a message. Let's get you into chasing greatness. Let's start with a 30-day challenge. Let's start building those, start stacking those wins that lead to the things that you want, know, and deserve. Just keep pushing forward. Now, if you're not quite there, click the link in my bio, grab my top 10 tools to transform your mental toughness, become the best version of yourself. Lastly, if you took some value from this, if you know someone else who could, if you enjoyed it and it speaks to you, please like, comment, subscribe, and share it. Spread it out. I'm here every single day, leading from the front, leading by example, showing you what is possible and the pitfalls to avoid as I go through this with you. So I'll be back here tomorrow. Until then.